Tonight on SCTV3, the Career Center's resources for finding jobs and internships over the summer.
Plus, an interview with the Distinguished Humanics Professor of the Year.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3.
Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Shane Baran.
And I'm Kaleb Knowles. Thank you for joining us.
We begin tonight on Alden Street. With just a couple weeks left in the school year here at Springfield College, many students are looking for summer jobs and internships. The Career Center on campus is designated to help students stick out to potential employers.
The center staff focuses on creating professional connections for students looking to gain valuable experience in their field. The center offers much more than just resume building, workshops, and SCTV3's May Volts stop by to see the full range that the services offers.
Welcome to the Career Center. I'm Scott Dranka, the director of the Career Center, and I'm going to take you in, give you a little tour of our office and show you our operation and a little bit about what we do.
The Springfield College Career Center offers a variety of resources to support students and alumni in their career development. Services include career counseling, job and internship opportunities, workshops and events, skill development, and financial literacy and planning.
In Title IX, which are right over here, this is a general reception and waiting room for students so that anytime somebody comes in for an appointment, after they're greeted, they go over here and they wait for their counselor or for Diane and Aaron in those respective offices. Here you'll see this is our reception area where when we have coverage for the front desk, they are working with greeting all the students and the alumni that come into the Career Center. We have it also staffed, besides the full-time staff, with our graduate associate and our work study students. When you progress over to this area of the office, this is our computer lab and our reference library. So on all these 4 computers that you see right here in front of us, these are areas where students can come in and type their resume, type their cover letter, any career document that they're working on. They can use these computers right here.
Included with the skill development service, there is also resume and cover letter guidance. Students can receive help crafting and refining resumes and cover letters with resources like the resume guide offering tips and examples. Professional counselors assist with career decision-making, including selecting or changing majors, exploring career options, pursuing internships, and preparing for graduate school.
So a little bit further down here, this is a video interviewing room, or it can be used for a lot of times students will reserve this room during operating hours from 8:30 to 4:30 to have a Zoom appointment or a phone appointment with an employer. Autumn Ledbetter, our graduate associate, uses this office here when she's working with students. She has a full platform of students that she sees as well.
Another service is career counseling. Students can schedule one-on-one sessions with career counselors to explore majors, career paths, internships, or graduate school options. Appointments are available in person or by phone.
So they all mirror and resemble the same type of look and things like that, but the counselors here will each take students in different academic majors, so they liaison to different majors in the 3 different schools like PEPSL, Arts and Sciences, and Health Sciences. So they're program experts in their field that they're in. So students primarily are scheduled appointments with counselors who match that area because they're program experts in that area. So have their resume, their cover letter, their job search done with someone who's very knowledgeable about the current market in those fields.
The center also encourages students to sign up for Handshake, a career networking app that is directly connected to the college. Students can create a free account with their Springfield email address.
Over the last couple of days, Springfield College has celebrated Earth Week. Earth Week takes place in the middle of April and is dedicated to the planet and the work to clean its environment. On Tuesday, students participated in outdoor yoga in front of the Union and planted succulent plants such as cacti. The last Earth Week event was held today as the campus community made their own tie-dye shirts and enjoyed some dirt cake. Assistant Professor of Environmental Science Chelsea Corlemonge discussed how students on campus can keep the environment clean through certain school groups.
Working with your residence hall directors, working with other students, Campus Rec, the Wellness Institute. They always have kind of environmentally friendly stuff going on, especially this week, but kind of throughout the year.
This Saturday, the Humanics of Action Club is running its annual Earth Day cleanup off campus.
As the semester comes to a close, Senior Week and commencement are fast approaching. Senior Week tickets are on sale now and must be purchased by next Wednesday, with the tickets costing $275. If you're a spring athlete and tournament play conflicts with scheduled events, you'll be eligible for refunds on any missed activities. Residential students should remain in their current housing through graduation day, and commuter students who wish to stay on campus for Senior Week can complete the Google Forms sent to your email. Assistant Dean for Student and Parent Engagement, Annie Warshall, says Senior Week is an experience that students can't miss.
There's never going to be another week where you can just hang out with your friends, you don't have any assignments, you have nothing to do but literally hang out, enjoy some time together, go on some really fun trips, and really, like I said, just be with each other before you graduate.
Cap and gowns can be purchased at the bookstore located in the Campus Union until the day before the commencement ceremony.
The software system for studying abroad is changing for the next round of applications. For those hoping to apply for study abroad in the spring of 2026, the process will look a little bit different. Although the software is not yet applied, it will most likely just change the look of the website, not its main function. The International Center says the anticipated opening for the spring 2026 program will be on July 1st, with the final deadline to apply by September 15th. As always, the process will be competitive, with many students aiming to complete their entire themed exploration requirements while abroad. Students can be approved early for certain programs through the Academic Advising Office. If you want to schedule an individual meeting to discuss the plan for your study abroad before the end of the year, contact the International Center.
Camp Massasoit is looking for camp counselors for its summer program. The camp located on East Campus is running a summer camp program for kids ages 5 to 15 with 4 two-week sessions from June 16th to August 15th. The camp runs Monday through Friday, and campers engage in a variety of fun activities such as arts and crafts, swimming, and archery. Springfield College employs a number of students for the camp, with the college providing housing during the sessions. Possible positions include counselor, lifeguard, and program director. Associate Director of East Campus and Outdoor Programs, Angela Veach, talked about how this can be a valuable experience for Springfield College students.
It really has skills that are transferable to almost any job occupation out there. So it might not maybe look the most appealing on a resume, but I think when you have an opportunity to get in and meet with a future employer, it's not saying, hey, I was a camp counselor. It's really talking about the skills that are necessary to be successful in this environment.
If you're interested at working at Camp Massasoit, you can apply through Springfield College's East Campus webpage.
We've seen some great spring weather this week, but will April close out with some more sun and warm weather? Liam Riley is in Studio B with our local and national weather updates. Liam?
Thanks, Caleb. Taking a look at this week's forecast, we are slowly getting closer and closer to summer after what seemed like such a long winter. Tomorrow will be cloudy, but we'll hit a high of 80. Saturday is expected to rain, but it's to be the last April shower. The start next week will be sunny and in the 70s, providing the perfect weather for a game of catch or going on the Naismith Green to play spike ball. Thursday wraps up our forecast with a high of 64. Although finals may be looming closer, the beautiful weather should help students distress. Now to turn to some national weather headlines. Since Tuesday, a large wildfire has spread across Ocean County, New Jersey. The Jones Road wildfire has spanned across 11,500 acres, has led to the evacuation of over 5,000 people. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but lasting drought conditions and strong winds have played a part in its spread. Fires have consumed Ocean County forest with black smoke filling the area. The mandatory evacuation order was later lifted, but more than 25,000 residents were without electricity after officials turned off power to keep fire crews safe. As of yesterday morning, the fire was 30% contained. Ocean Township officials said that no injuries or loss of residential structures occurred in the fire.
When we come back, we speak to the director of the honors program, Rebecca Lardage, about their recent recognition.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Rebecca Lartigue wears many hats at Springfield. She is a professor of English and the director of the college's honors program. Last week, Lartigue was named the Distinguished Humanics Professor of the Year, and SCTV3's Kyle Valentine spoke to her about how humanics is reflected in her work.
I am very humbled and honored to be selected to be a distinguished professor of humanics. Wonderful faculty have preceded me in that role, and it gives me very big shoes to fill. Yeah, I'll be working on a project which is part of the job. The provost and I will be meeting all next year, sort of the way Professor Higgins met with her last year and worked on a project that served the whole campus and community. I think mine will have something to do with curiosity that I think is a really important skill for all of our graduates to have. Oh, I love this work, being honors program director. I got to be the founding director and work to build the program 6 years ago, and I've directed it with the help of many faculty and staff for the past 6 years. So it's been a real honor, a pleasure to get to work with young people like that. I really love working with students, helping them take on internship experiences or studying abroad, learning outside of the classroom, figuring out their majors. I'm really honored to get to be in that advisory position and to kind of help them figure out what is the right path for them, whether that's a job or graduate school or changing their major. So it's really great to get to work with really dedicated students. Wow, oh great. I have a lot of favorite memories because I've been here a long time. I've taken students on short-term study abroad trips, and so one memory is of watching students enter Westminster Abbey and looking up at the ceiling and just being in awe that they were seeing a space that was really important to the literature that we had read. That's a great memory. Another great memory was getting to be in SC theater productions with students, just some really talented actors and just very supportive of faculty and staff being vulnerable with them on stage. So those are two excellent memories. Kyle, you can't ask an English professor what their favorite book is. It changes week to week and day to day. Dante's Divine Comedy made me a professor. I still read that. I have about 6 different translated versions, in my office at home. Right now, I'm really loving works by a novelist from Scotland whose name is Ali Smith. Ask me in a couple weeks, I'll be reading something else.
Lartigue hopes to keep the honors program thriving and create a place for the academic leaders on campus.
Now turning to some of the biggest national headlines from the past week. Pope Francis passed away on Monday night at the age of 88. Francis had been the head of the Catholic Church since 2013, leaving a legacy as one of the more progressive leaders in the history of the papacy. Now, hundreds of prominent religious figures will begin the election of the new pope. Here's more.
The Catholic Church has entered a 9-day mourning period for Pope Francis. The Vatican confirmed the 88-year-old pontiff passed away on Monday morning less than a day after he made a surprise appearance in St. Peter's Square for Easter. As evening fell over St. Peter's Square, thousands gathered to pray the Rosary, honoring the life of Pope Francis. Church bells tolled 88 times, once for every year of the late Pope's life. At the Vatican, flags were lowered to half-staff in a solemn tribute.
A moment of a bit of sadness and at the same time thankfulness and celebration of life.
His passing came less than 24 hours after he greeted crowds on Easter Sunday, offering a final message of peace. Just last month, Pope Francis had been released from the hospital following a 5-week battle with double pneumonia.
Shocked because I was here yesterday at Mass and I saw the Pope and he looked just so fragile.
As the first Pope born in the Americas, Francis made history by placing the poor, the marginalized, and migrants at the heart of his 12-year papacy.
He showed us that, what is not essential when you're Pope is to be on a pedestal. What is essential is to be with the people.
In the days ahead, hundreds of thousands are expected to make their way to Vatican City, where Pope Francis will lie in state for public viewing. His funeral must take place within 6 days of his death. Then, 15 to 20 days later, cardinals from around the world will gather in Rome to begin the process of selecting the next pope. In a departure from tradition, Pope Francis will not be buried in St. Peter's Basilica. Instead, he'll be laid to rest at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, a 5th century church in Rome dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and one he held especially dear.
The earliest the conclave can start is May 6th, and it has no set time limit. The process can last anywhere from a couple of days to multiple months, but no conclave in the past century has lasted more than 5 days.
Harvard University announced this week they are suing the Trump administration for $2 billion. This comes after President Trump froze federal funding for the school. Corwin Dixon has more on how one of the country's most prestigious universities has responded.
On Monday, Harvard University announced that they are suing the federal government over the $2 billion funding freeze that was put in place on the university by President Trump. To keep funding, the Trump administration has placed a series of demands on Harvard University, including changes to admissions and hiring practices to be put in place this summer. They also call for the abolishment of several student groups on campus and for Harvard to remove their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. This has sparked protests on Harvard's campus over the weekend.
Harvard, do what's right.
As well as the funding freeze, President Trump has called for the tax-exempt status of Harvard University to be revoked. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey spoke to Face the Nation about this on Sunday.
Trump is also calling for Harvard to lose its tax-exempt status, and CBS News has confirmed that the IRS is considering at least rescinding it. Are you aware of any evidence that the university has done anything to merit that?
Absolutely not. It's outrageous. But it's part of this continued playbook that Donald Trump has been using, which is to silence critics, right? First he went after the law firms, then he went after companies, then he went after everyday Americans. Now he's going after colleges and universities.
Harvard has refused to accept any of the Trump administration's demands. For SCTV3, I'm Corwin Dixon.
In the letter announcing the lawsuit, Harvard's president, Alan M. Garber, said the consequences of the government's outreach will be severe and long-lasting.
Starting on May 7th, you'll either need a passport or a real ID to board a domestic flight into the United States due to new security requirements. Many New Jersey residents say it's been difficult to get an appointment. SCTV3's Morgan Barboza has more on the story.
I check every single day. There's no appointments.
Many New Jersey residents trying to get a real ID say they're fed up.
How frustrating is this?
Very. Mm-hmm.
So are you traveling at all? Do you need the real?
No, I'm not traveling, but I just want to get it just in case.
CBS News data analysis between April 7th and the 18th show New Jersey ranks number 1 out of 49 states for having the lowest compliance issuing real IDs. The rate is just 17%.
It should be quicker. I mean, people have to travel.
According to New Jersey's Motor Vehicle Commission website, the agency will offer emergency appointments starting on April 24th for those who need to board domestic flights within 14 days for life or death reasons or for urgent travel plans like a family death. Officials, though, say appointments are only at their Transon location, and they're limited. Why? There are no guarantees. An $80 fee is also required. U.S. passport holders don't qualify, and documentation about a personal situation and for real IDs is also needed. Some say they got their IDs ahead of time, being diligent.
I just went online early and tried to get it.
South Jersey, their service is very fast.
Kathleen Ronk says she got a tip from an MVC employee on how to get a real ID appointment.
I'm going to go online on Thursday morning at 5 in the morning and hopefully get an appointment, I hope.
Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Morgan Barbosa.
The deadline to acquire a real ID in the state of Massachusetts is May 7th.
After the break, Chris Scholenbrenner has the latest from Pride Athletics with SCTV3's Sports Extra.
My name's Dante Iafredi, and I am one of the 3 hosts and producers in a new TV show called Thursday Night Springfield. Have you ever wondered who had the most RBIs in a single MLB season? How about whoever had the most steals in a single NBA season? Don't know the answer to those questions? Come find out in our game show called Outsmarted, where sports journalism students take on Alden Street's finest. Thursday, May 1st at 7:30 for the fastest 30 minutes in sports on SCTV3's YouTube channel.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of SCTV3's Sports Extra. I'm Chris Schoenleber, bringing you the latest on all things Pride Athletics. Here's how Springfield Athletics performed this week. The baseball team took on Coast Guard Tuesday afternoon and lost 5-1. The Pride struggled to muster runs across the plate, only getting 1 despite having several opportunities in the game. Center fielder Chris Balchius makes an all-out diving catch in the top of the 4th to prevent Coast Guard from adding its 2-0 lead. The baseball team gears up to take on WPI in a doubleheader this Saturday. The Pride has just 5 games left on the season as they try to make a last-chance push for the playoffs. Softball took on Western New England in a doubleheader, winning both games 5-0 and 2-0. A key player for the Pride was Melissa Seifert, who had a season-high 2 RBIs. Bottom of the 2nd, Seifert splits the Western New England outfield, allowing multiple runners to reach home, give the Pride an early 2-0 lead. Softball faces off against Wheaton in a doubleheader on Friday. The women's lacrosse team won in dominant fashion last night, winning by a score of 19-3. 13 different athletes on the team all earned goals last night. The second goal of the game comes from Sarah Horton finding Peyton Imhoff in the front of the net, who fires the ball into the goal. This regular season finale sets the team's record at 13-3 as the Pride gear up for its new MAC quarterfinal showdown against Wheaton at 1 p.m. on Saturday. The women's lacrosse regular season has officially come to a close. SCTV3's Kaleb Knowles has more on how the team had one of the best winning seasons in program history.
The Springfield College women's lacrosse team has wrapped up a dominant regular season in one of the toughest conferences in Division III, the NEWMAC. Finishing with a strong 13-3 record, the Pride are now gearing up for the playoffs, which kick off in just a few days. They opened up the year on fire, starting 12-1 and collecting key wins early on. That included a commanding 15-0 win over rival Western New England in the season opener. Later on, they would win 23-3 against conference opponent Emerson College. With over 230 goals scored this season, the Pride's high-powered offense is matched by a lockdown defense, making them one of the most dangerous teams heading into the NEWMAC tournament. A big reason for that success is junior Lily Johnson. She's been a force all year, tallying 39 goals, including 3 separate games with a season-high 4 goals. Lily has been a steady presence on the field, and she is fired up about the team's chemistry and their chances in the postseason.
I think this year we have a lot of threats all over the field, so we're not just like leaning on one person. Everybody's a threat. Like we always joke around, like if another team were to make a scouting report on us, like our whole team would be on it. Like it's not one person, and I think we all work really well together. And I don't know, we all just have a lot of fun too. So I think that's what, like we all build each other up in that way.
It's not just the veterans making waves, despite having 14 graduating players. First-year players have also stepped up in a big way, quickly adapting to the system and contributing when it matters most. Molly Forrest, a standout freshman, has notched 8 goals this season and spoke about what it's like staying ready for her moment.
Definitely just to immerse myself in how they play, because obviously they've been playing together for 3 years longer than I have. So just kind of when I get on the field, when I'm with all the seniors and the grad students and upperclassmen, just contributing to their game. And they're all very talented, so I feel like it's not incredibly hard to kind of play for them.
The Pride capped off their regular season last night with a win over Mount Holyoke 19-3, securing 3rd place in the NEWMAC standings. They'll begin their playoff run this Saturday. And with the way they're playing, they're definitely a team to watch out for.
The regular season for the women's lacrosse team has been one to remember. They finished with a record of 13-3 and came together under the coaching of Jen Thomas. They had one of the greatest regular seasons in program history. Now the team looks to carry their momentum into the postseason with NEWMAC starting this Saturday. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Kaleb Knowles.
The women's lacrosse first round game in the NEWMAC tournament is set for Saturday. They will play Wheaton in the quarterfinal. Now to take a look at the upcoming athletic schedule. Ending its season 13-3, women's lacrosse enters the NEWMAC playoffs as the 3rd seed and will face Wheaton on Saturday. The Pride played Wheaton earlier this month and won 18-4. Softball plays its last home game in the regular season on Tuesday, which is a doubleheader against Manhattanville. Men's tennis is competing in the NEWMAC playoffs for the 3rd straight year in a row. The Pride will be taking on MIT in the first round. Men's volleyball is making a run in the NCAA Division III championship tournament and look to beat number 7 California Lutheran to advance to the finals. Track and field starts postseason play this weekend with the NEWMAC championships hosted by Mount Holyoke. To see each team's end of the year schedule, check out springfieldcollegepride.com. That'll do it with this edition of Sports Extra. Stick around to see the final installment of Patty's Pizza Picks this year.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
This week on Patty's Pizza Picks, SCTV3's Patrick Fergus visits one of the newest spots around Springfield Pizza House.
We're here at Springfield Pizza House on 1135 State Street. Let's head inside. One of the newest spots around, the Springfield Pizza House opened just last year. Located right on the corner, it's the perfect spot for those just passing by. It doesn't have much indoor seating and is clearly set up for a grab-and-go type of service. According to my sources, I heard the Pizza House had some pretty big slices, so that's what I went for. The cheese duo came out piping hot and just as large as their reputation. So we got some pretty big slices here, like this, back and bang for your buck. It's got a nice undercarriage here, nice and crisp. It goes back a little towards the back. Use a little more sauce. It's missing a little bit of sauce there. But overall, not bad at all. The Pizza House offers a decent slice and nothing really more, so it lands right in the middle at 3 stars. Since I began this series 2 years ago, I have been to 16 different places in the Springfield metro area. Red Rose remains the only spot I've given 5 stars, and the majority of places I reviewed this year have usually fallen in the middle. Patty's Pizza Picks will return for its final semester next fall. Until then, reporting for SCTV3, I'm Pizza Pat.
That's all we have for you tonight on Weekly News. Thank you for tuning in.
Check out our YouTube channel for content from SCTV3. Tune in next week for the final broadcast of the school year.
Same time,
same place.